I never came out. I just was. And I think now we're reaching a point where coming out is kind of almost passé. You know, if your parents haven't figured it out, my God, what good will it do them to know? I was born and raised in Maine. No views out of any windows, just boring. So I began living totally within myself very early. I drew and, you know, did things. And we had no money whatsoever. I mean, we were really, really poor. I didn't speak English. We spoke French. We lived in a French ghetto. I said to my father, well, a lot of artists make money, and he said, yes, but only for a little while. You can't do that. You know, people won't want these drawings forever. And I think they thought that I was really wasting my time. I wrote all of these letters, and I began to get answers. I sent them little drawings, and I began to get answers from them all. I never told them how old I was, which was just over 14. Then I told my parents. They were terribly, terribly upset. But they're good people, and they knew that I didn't have a chance in that town. So they let me go. So at that age, I was turned loose in the city streets of Boston at a non-campus school. I was thrilled. I wanted to be part of the world that I saw in the magazines, that I saw in the movies. Not necessarily the glamour, but the English-speaking, people smoking and drinking and carrying on. And the very first night that I was in Boston, after my parents dropped me off and we had all the big goods and the take care, and so the minute my parents left, I ran to Symphony Hall and I bought a cheap ticket. And this very attractive man, maybe in his 30s, approached me and he said to me, would you like to go for a drink after the show? And I said, no, I want to go to a nightclub. And he took me to a nightclub. And that was my first night. I saw Ella Fitzgerald and, Betty Carter and a couple of other people, all in one night. I always thought that clothes, that you could tell a story with your clothes and that you could pretend to be someone else. Fashion to me has never been about acquiring. It's about style. For instance, this suit that I'm wearing now is Lanvin. It's bespoke, and it's from the 80s. I love this suit. It's a nice nighttime thing, and I love the lining. Everything I'm wearing now is kind of probably a little more playful than what I usually wear, although it's a formal men's shirt. The sneakers are from my usual shoe store, because you can usually see from 20 feet away the one thing on that rack that might be worth bothering with. So you just zone in on it and grab it. I've always worn glasses since the age of 4. But every time I forget I had them on and go out for an errand or, run down to the village or something, either black or Hispanic kids would always say to me, great glasses. And I thought, you know what, they know more about style than Anna Wintour does. They know what's fresh, and so I started wearing them. Now, if I don't wear them, people say, where are the glasses? Nobody knew Warhol. You only say you knew Warhol. I went to the factory a few times. I had no reason to be there, but nobody ever asked me what I was doing there. So I would just wander around. Despite the fact that I was a commercial artist, I always lived the life of an artist. Of all the people that I've drawn, and I did it face to face, was Yves Saint Laurent. I never thought, when the editor suggested it, that this would go through. And it did. And I did this in pen and ink, with a little bottle of ink and a pen. And I don't know, you just felt this great intellectual air about him. He wasn't like many of the designers that I had worked with previously. This was a very serious artist, a man of craft. I know what I am. You know what I mean? Somebody calling me faggot. I am one.
Right.
So, you're not, maybe if you call me lumberjack, I would be upset. But I get interesting things on the street. Like one day I was coming past Judson Memorial Church, and there were 3 kids, typical kids. And when I went by, one of them said, hey. And I said, yeah. And he said, man, you really got that Channel 13 look. That's my favorite compliment.